Welcome, dear listeners, to our show today, where we embark on an enthralling journey through the annals of history, delving into the complex and captivating tale of the Star Wars universe, rather than the Spanish Civil War as initially suggested. As we explore this vast expanse, let us first set our sights on the earliest history of this cosmic saga. In a galaxy not so far away, the seeds of the Star Wars universe were sown, giving birth to a legendary tale that would captivate the hearts of millions. Our journey begins with the release of the first film in 1977, directed by the visionary George Lucas, which introduced us to a world of heroes and villains, of lightsabers and starships, set against the backdrop of a galaxy-spanning empire. The iconic characters of Luke Skywalker, Han Solo, and Darth Vader took their first steps into our collective imagination, forever changing the landscape of science fiction. As we navigate through the earliest history of the Star Wars universe, we find ourselves in the midst of a creative explosion that was taking place in the 1970s. It was an era marked by innovation and experimentation, with filmmakers pushing the boundaries of storytelling and special effects. The influence of classic mythology, history, and philosophy is evident in Lucas's work, as he drew inspiration from the likes of Joseph Campbell and Akira Kurosawa. The release of The Empire Strikes Back in 1980 and Return of the Jedi in 1983 solidified the Star Wars trilogy as a cultural phenomenon, with each film building upon the previous one, expanding the universe and deepening our understanding of its characters. The introduction of new planets, such as Hoth and Endor, and the exploration of complex themes like friendship, sacrifice, and the struggle between good and evil, added richness to the narrative. As we continue our exploration of the Star Wars universe, we must note the significant impact of the prequels, which began with The Phantom Menace in 1999. This new trilogy took us back in time, delving into the events that led up to the formation of the Galactic Empire and the rise of Anakin Skywalker, later known as Darth Vader. The prequels introduced a new generation to the Star Wars universe, incorporating cutting-edge special effects and expanding the lore with characters like Obi-Wan Kenobi and Padme Amidala. The epic battles, the heroic deeds, and the personal struggles of its beloved characters await us. Let us proceed with anticipation and curiosity, for in the world of Star Wars, there is always more to discover, more to explore, and more to inspire our imagination. Welcome back to our show, dear listeners, as we continue our enthralling journey through the complex and captivating tale of the Spanish Civil War. This was an era marked by intense battles, profound ideological divisions, and the emergence of figures who would shape not only the course of the war, but also the future of Spain. As we delve into this critical phase of the Spanish Civil War, which spanned from 1936 to 1939, it becomes evident that the conflict was not merely a domestic issue, but a battleground for ideologies that reverberated across the globe. The nationalist forces, led by General Francisco Franco, sought to establish a fascist regime, while the Republican government and its supporters fought to preserve democracy and secularism. This ideological clash drew in international powers, with fascist Italy and Nazi Germany supporting the nationalists, and the Soviet Union backing the Republicans. One of the most significant events during this period was the Battle of Madrid, which began in November 1936 and lasted for several months. The city, a symbol of Republican resistance, was besieged by nationalist forces but managed to hold out against overwhelming odds. This battle was marked by brutal fighting, including aerial bombardments that targeted civilian populations, setting a grim precedent for the conduct of war in the 20th century. The Spanish Civil War also became a magnet for international volunteers, who saw it as a front line in the fight against fascism. The international brigades, comprising men and women from over 50 countries, including notable figures like Ernest Hemingway and George Orwell, fought on behalf of the Republicans. Their participation not only reflected the global concern about the spread of fascism, but also underscored the war's international dimensions. In addition to its military aspects, this period of the Spanish Civil War was marked by significant social and political transformations within Republican territory. Efforts at land reform, the empowerment of women, and the establishment of worker-controlled industries in areas like Catalonia represented a profound challenge to traditional power structures. These experiments in socialism and anarchism, though ultimately unsuccessful due to the pressures of war and internal divisions, left an enduring legacy in Spanish history. As Dolores Ibarruri, known as La Pasionaria, passionately declared in one of her speeches, "It is better to die on your feet than live on your knees." This call to arms encapsulated the spirit of resistance that defined the Republican cause during its most trying hours. It was a period where heroism and sacrifice were commonplace, where the stakes were as high as the human cost, and where the outcome would determine not only Spain's future, but also have far-reaching implications for Europe and beyond. As we conclude our exploration of this pivotal period in the Spanish Civil War, we are reminded that history is not merely a series of events, but a tapestry woven from the actions, beliefs, and sacrifices of individuals. The war's impact on Spanish society, its people, and the global political landscape was profound, setting the stage for the tumultuous decades that followed. The aftermath of the war would bring about repression, exile, and a long silence over the wounds of the past. Yet, even in defeat, the spirit of the Republic and its defenders ensured that the legacy of the Spanish Civil War would endure, a testament to the power of conviction and the human quest for freedom and justice. Let us proceed with our journey into the shadows of war's end and the dawn of a new Spain, forever changed by the trials of its civil war. Welcome back to our show, dear listeners, as we continue our enthralling journey through the complex and captivating tale of the Spanish Civil War. As the war drew to a close in 1939, the nationalist forces, led by General Francisco Franco, emerged victorious, marking the beginning of a long and repressive regime that would last for nearly 4 decades. The consequences of this victory were profound, with thousands of Republicans executed or imprisoned, and many more forced into exile. The regime's policies of repression and censorship aimed to erase the memory of the Republic and its defenders, imposing a silence over the wounds of the past. One of the most striking examples of the regime's efforts to suppress dissent and opposition was the establishment of the Valle de los Caídos, a monumental complex built to honor the nationalist dead. This grandiose project, which included a basilica, a monastery, and a vast cemetery, was constructed using the forced labor of Republican prisoners, many of whom lost their lives during its construction. The Valle de los Caídos became a powerful symbol of Franco's regime, a testament to the victor's narrative, and a reminder of the defeated Republic's erasure from Spain's official history. In addition to the physical monuments, Franco's regime also sought to control the historical narrative of the Spanish Civil War. The regime's propaganda machinery worked tirelessly to portray the nationalists as heroes and the Republicans as traitors or communists. This distorted narrative was reinforced through education, media, and popular culture, shaping the collective memory of Spaniards for generations to come. However, despite the regime's efforts to suppress it, the legacy of the Spanish Civil War endured. In the years following the war, a vibrant cultural movement emerged, with writers, artists, and intellectuals like Pablo Picasso, Joan Miró, and Luis Buñuel continuing to create works that reflected the spirit of the Republic and its defenders. These creative expressions served as a form of resistance, keeping alive the memory of the war and its ideals, even in the face of overwhelming repression. As we reflect on the aftermath of the Spanish Civil War, it becomes evident that the conflict's impact extended far beyond Spain's borders. The war had significant implications for European politics, contributing to the outbreak of World War II and shaping the course of international relations during the Cold War era. The Spanish Civil War also inspired anti-fascist movements worldwide, with its legacy influencing social and political struggles in countries like France, Italy, and Latin America. As we conclude our exploration of the Spanish Civil War's aftermath, we are reminded that history is a complex tapestry, woven from multiple narratives and perspectives. The war's enduring legacy serves as a testament to the power of human conviction and the ongoing quest for freedom, justice, and democracy. As the Spanish people continue to grapple with the wounds of their past, we are invited to reflect on the universal lessons of this conflict and to consider how its history can inform our understanding of the world today. In the words of George Orwell, who fought alongside the Republicans, "The struggle for freedom is never truly won, but it is always worth fighting for." This sentiment encapsulates the spirit of resistance that defined the Spanish Civil War and its defenders, a spirit that continues to inspire us today. As we move forward in our narrative, we carry with us the memories and lessons of this pivotal moment in history, remembering that the struggle for freedom and justice is an ongoing endeavor, one that requires our collective effort and commitment to ensure that the mistakes of the past are not repeated. That's all for today's History with Herodotus. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. And until next time,